Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. Today we're reviewing the third one day, the final one day between India and England. An incredible game. It was going one way, then went the other way, and then Sam Curran with an amazing, unbelievable, miraculous knock, keeping England alive and almost winning it. Unlucky not to win it, but it was a great game. India winning by 7 runs. What a finale to the tour. It was the perfect match to watch. And I have with me, bro Aziz, my co-host. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm still coming to terms with what happened in that match over there. What an incredible innings by Sam Curran. Just when you thought India had it wrapped up, uh, he comes out with a blunder of an innings. What an absolutely incredible inning. Unfortunate not to take India home. He almost pulled off a miracle over there. Sorry, unfortunate not to take England home and missed his century also by just a few runs. Just imagine those last two sixes and then a century and a win for him would have just been perfect. But it just shows how close these two teams are, and how closely fought the T20 series and the ODI series has been. White ball cricket, I think top one and two teams fighting it out in white ball cricket. Just amazing cricket to watch. Edge of seat stuff, and a nice way to close the series off and look forward to a lot more close matches with the IPL coming up very soon.
Yeah, it was like a proper heavyweight matchup, first versus second, and that's how it ended. Like, England, we thought they were knocked out, but they just got up and kept fighting, and it just shows the batting depth they have. And the way they play, there's a lot of criticism that it's too aggressive, but it works out for them almost every time, and they turn impossible chases into possible chases. I think their percentage is like 50% when chasing 300 and above, while other teams put together have only chased it like 7-8 times. So I think. It's the way they play. It's high risk cricket, but that allows them to win the tough games. And they almost pulled it off again. Just they needed, Sam Curran needed support. I think they played how many 30 dot balls in those last 10 overs? Easy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that's because there was a non-striker at the end. In the beginning, I'm like, why is he doing that? He should take the single, but he just wanted, he just needed somebody at the other end, and he wanted to do it on his own, and he almost pulled it off. But one more guy stayed. If Moeen Ali, played a bit longer, I think England could have won it. But just goes to show, it's a really good wicket to bat on.
Absolutely, it was an incredible wicket. Even Shikhar Dhawan right after the match said that it was a true wicket. It stayed true throughout the game, and it was a very good wicket to bat on. Unfortunately, India also would have been kicking themselves not to score a few more. They had 350 plus on cards easily with the way they started off, and then England as well. They kept losing wickets at at crucial intervals. And
Yeah.
that created that issue for them as well, because in the end they didn't have support. I just felt like Sam Curran could have taken a few more singles. I feel like, especially when Wood was starting to get starting to understand the wicket, and he was able to knock it around a little bit. I just felt like they missed out on way too many chances, and I just thought his thoughts were not settled. I think he was very confused in whether to take a single or not. I think it was a decision that was sent in by management, and he wasn't fully on terms with it. I just felt like he was a little confused over there, and I feel like that's the experience he learned, because he's still a young lad, and nothing to take away from the fact that he had an incredible innings as well. But I just felt like right when there were about 8-10 overs left, there were a few chances that he could have taken those singles, and in the end, it was a matter of few runs, right? At the end, so those few singles here and there could have been a big difference for them. So I think that there was a little bit of miscommunication over there between the player and management. I felt like, but I could be wrong. But I just felt like that was there, because he kept starting those runs and then suddenly realizing that he doesn't want them. And Wood wasn't very poor with the bat. He was okay. He could have managed a couple of runs here and there as well himself. So I just thought that maybe a couple runs here and there could have aided England, which in the end was a few runs. A loss by 6 runs is hard to take, especially after that kind of an incredible innings. So I mean, these are all in hindsight. We can talk about these things, but I just felt like that could have been the case. But yeah, I mean, a very very good match to end what's been an incredible series for between India and England, and looking forward to India going to England now in the later part of the year to see how that goes as well.
Yeah, for sure. It was incredible. If you just look at the first innings quickly, India got off to a good start with Shikhar Dhawan, but then they lost wickets in the middle overs. Rashid and Moeen Ali getting England back. Virat
Yeah,
Kohli, Rahul both getting out cheaply. Rahul be very gutted with that full toss, and
yeah.
Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan as well. Dhawan was a soft dismissal. Rohit didn't pick the googly, but it was that partnership again. Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya counter attack. At one stage, they were setting up India to a 400 total, but it was just a cat and mouse game. The good thing is India kept with the rate. They didn't,
Yeah.
Pant and Pandya just didn't start trying to conserve the wickets. They were still trying to score, and with that, they reached 330. Otherwise, maybe under 300 would have been the total.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, that's a brand of cricket that Pant and Hardik Pandya play. I mean, they are always aggressive with their cricket, and it's proved right for them more often than not. I mean, it was smart for them not to try to conserve and try to mend their style. They went with what they went with what they know best, and paid off. Yes, India were 20 runs short, I thought, but I think overall in the larger scheme of things, I think that a 330 score was par, and it gave them enough to put in a fighting chance, and in the end, it was good enough. Six runs too many, and that's what that matters in the end, right? So that was well done to Hardik and the Punt to kind of resurrect the innings a little bit and really come hard at the England bowlers, which is what England does to India. Even if they keep losing wickets, they keep coming hard at the bowlers, and that's what has been working for them. So I think hats off to India. I think they realized that they need to start well, and they did that, and they need to continue through the 50 overs, and they continued to do that, and they came up with a par score.
Yep, and if you look at the bowling again for India, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, pick up the bowlers. Shardul Thakur, he's a wicket machine, man. Whenever you need a wicket, he gets it. And at the end, those wickets are match-winning wickets because it stops the run rate. The new batsman will consume 10, 20 balls. So and he picks up wickets in quick succession. So hats off to Thakur, and he's combining well with Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Bhuvi with the new ball again, brilliant. And in the death we saw as well, it's very difficult to hit him. Sam Curran on purpose was defending, and we couldn't take runs off.
Yeah. Actually, Bhuvi has been incredible this series. I mean, as a Sunriser fan, nothing makes me happier to see the Bhuvi perform as well as he is. So it's been amazing to see him come back and in full flow as well, right? And Thakur, like you mentioned, I mean, he has been taking the wickets. He will give you a heart attack every now and again, but I think he's been very good with those wickets. So you have to give him that. I mean, if it's bad batting, good bowling, it doesn't matter. The wickets column is what matters, and the 4 wickets he took again today was very important. That last over of his where he gave away a few runs was to Sam Curran, a 6 and a 4. I thought that was a little bit of a nerve-wracking moment because that really made the game very close again. But like you said, I mean, you need to give him credit because he is the highest wicket taker in the series again. With the 7 wickets, so he's been very, very good for India, and credit given where it's due.
Yeah.
Hats off to him. And when in a time where Prasidh and Nattu were struggling, I think that it was important that Bhuvi and Thakur were taking the wickets, and the 7 amongst them was important, and that's what mattered in the end.
Yeah, and also goes to show, when you're chasing 330, you can't do what they did in the last game every day, what Stokes and Bairstow did. Bairstow was having an incredible series, but he had a poor day. Roy was hitting, and then he got out. Stokes got a chance. Hardik Pandya again drops a sitter. I couldn't believe that. It could have been match-changing, series-changing, but he only added 15 more runs. He got out to a full toss, Ben Stokes. So they'll be a bit gutted with the way they play their shots. I think Stokes in particular. But apart from that, England do have the depth. Malan came in. It's just about converting it into 100 if Malan stayed there. It's just those, converting the starts into big scores. But this England team have shown that they have depth. But at the end of the day, they'll also be gutted. The series was on the line. They probably ideally wanted to win this, and Sam Curran showed that it was in their hands, chasing with the dew and everything.
Absolutely, I think that they'll be a very disappointed team. I mean, they bank themselves to be to play top quality cricket, and I felt like a few wickets that they lost in the middle over there were 2 bad shots. I thought the Stokes to full toss was unfortunate. I thought Malan as well, although I thought it was a great catch by Virat. If I'm not, no, that was the Adil Rashid catch. But but I thought Malan also straight to mid wicket. I think it was, or was it? No, it wasn't. Straight to the man close in. But yeah, I think that the fact that, like you said, if anyone could have stayed, even Malan scored a 50, Moin Ali as well. If any of them could have just stayed and supported Curran, it would have been very, very good, I think, and they would have easily won that game. It just mattered because for longest time he was playing against Wood, and he didn't have enough trust in him, unfortunately, to get those singles and keep rotating the strike, which cost them in the end, unfortunately. So yeah, I think that England will be very disappointed. I think they'll take a long, deep look at a few things, and they'll come ready for the T20 World Cup and the ODI as well in a couple of years' time.
Yeah, and just a word on Natarajan. He got smashed all over the park during this match in this innings, and then he came back and bowled the last over, defending 14 runs. Just a matter of couple boundaries, but he found that full ball, the Yorker ball. He stuck to his strength. I think he was bowling a bit short, in the other overs. but he got his line and length back, and he bowled beautifully, and he showed that this is a great learning curve, for Natarajan and Prashant Krishna. They're getting smashed against the best team in one day, but to come back and bowl like that, to hold your nerve, will give them a lot of confidence, especially today, Natarajan.
Absolutely, Natu has been phenomenal since the IPL last year. He was very good for Sunrisers, and then he's made his ODI debut, Test debut, T20 debut, and he's been phenomenal in Australia as well. And then coming back, I think the break, usually bowlers, they take a little time to settle into the rhythm, and that was the problem with him as well. I think he played one odd game in the T20 and one odd game here, so he's been in and out of the side a little bit since he's come back. So it's always about the confidence, but you can see, he has a lot of skill, and he executed it brilliantly in the end. I think that after being smashed, after dropping that catch in the in the Hardik over, when although a hard catch, to come back and have that mental strength to be able to do what he did, and kept bowling those fuller balls, those Yorker length, which was hard to get away. And hats off to him. I mean, he's been picked in the side for that reason, and he delivered the goods.
Yeah, and just quickly, just to wrap up the show, a couple more points. Rohit and Kohli combining together captaincy, that was good to watch. The last over, they were, Rohit also was talking to the bowler, but because Kohli was fielding. So I think, Rohit's captaincy, we all know, has been brilliant in the IPL. But my point is that Kohli does field and long on, long off. So to have Rohit's presence there, and they're both communicating with each other, very important. We already discussed this, but it was good to see, and in the end, it paid off.
Absolutely, I think they're both professional sports people. I think they've decided to hash whatever history issues that they had, whatever, and it's good for Indian cricket because both of them communicating and bringing out their experience in crunch situations like the game in today. It was very important that both of them communicated, discussed their points, and brought what was good for the team, and that happened today as well. I mean, hats off to both of them. Both of them have been communicating very, very, very well. I think we saw throughout the series, even the T20s and the ODIs, we've seen that happen. So it's great for them to do that. And I mean, whatever it was, I'm glad that it's over. And now the rivalries can resume with the first game between Mumbai and our RCB. It's going to be interesting to see that.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. That'll be a lot of fun, Kohli and Rohit versus each other. But it's good to see that, they're combining together. Like we said, they're both different. They have different levels of thinking. They're communicating is very important for Indian cricket. And that's great to see. But second last point, a quick word on Butler standing in for Morgan. Did a very good job. They won the game, the second one day. And then this third one day, they took it close.
Yeah, I think he's also been good. I think the way this English side is set up, I think it's more of a process game. I think they decide what they need to do before the game. They don't really have too many worries in the middle. I mean, when it gets pressure situations, then obviously it's important. But in today's game, it was all about Sam Curran being able to do it. I think this is a well-oiled machine. I think this England side, and it's just a matter of putting the cards in the right place, I think, and I think Butler did that very well. I think he's been phenomenal for England for the past few years, and a very, very decent job stepping in for Morgan, who's literally right off the street, right off the boundary, maybe making some decisions himself as well.
Yeah, there was individual errors today for sure from England, but they've shown that from dying positions they can just come back from the dead and get the game alive and almost win it as well. So I think that's a huge plus for them going into the T20 World Cup. This team will never give up, I think, and innings like that will boost the confidence for the future, and it's been incredible. Just lastly, your man of the match and player of the series.
My player of the series has to be Bhuvi because he's bowled the important overs, and I mean, I may be a little biased, but I just feel like Shardul Thakur got a wicket more than him in the series, but I just feel like the way Bhuvi no one was able to get him away. He's been economical and he's been wicket taking for India in the first game and in the third game. In the second game when he didn't take that many wickets, obviously India lost. So I think for me, maybe a little biased, but I think it's Bhuvi. And then the man of the match. I wanted to give it to Hardik Pandya because he was very good with the bat and he bowled well. But because of his 2 drop catches, I can't give it to him, unfortunately, because he made the game a lot harder than it is. So this is the hardest one for me.
You saw his celebration when Stokes got out? You saw his celebration?
Yeah. So it's very, very hard, this one for me.
For me,
I'll have to give it to Thakur because I'll have to give it to Thakur because
he scored 30 runs as well.
He took the wickets. He scored those extra runs in the end and he took the 4 wickets. So for me, Thakur, I think for the man of the match, it's only fair.
Yeah, and to be honest, like he's developing into a very crucial player. I think in all formats, if he can continue
Yeah,
to bat like the way he did today, those 30 runs ended up match winning, and
being the crowd. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
and like to bowl like that as well, pick up 4 wickets, change the game. I think is turning out to be a great find for India. It's just that he'll need to work on his economy. I'm sure he'll do that as the time comes. But yeah, I think great series. Any last thoughts? It was you got your prediction bang on again. I think, yeah.
Man, I've just been doing it way too many times, and I'm gonna stick my head out, and I'm gonna be like another prediction: Sunrisers to win the IPL.
This one, I hope you're right. I mean, we're gonna do in-depth analysis with all the
Of
squads and
course,
everything coming up. Now international's over, so it's gonna be all about the IPL. Of course, there's other international games going on as well. We'll look at that, but for now, there's no more India. All these players, India and England, all these players will be playing IPL. We're gonna see some quality cricket, and it's good to see the likes of Bairstow, Bhuvneshwar getting some form, huh? And
Nattu as well. Like that
Natarajan as
over will
well,
give
yeah.
him a lot of confidence. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Looking
confidence, yeah.
forward to it now.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And yeah, I think that wraps up. It was an incredible series, to be very honest with you. To be honest, like 2-3 overs in the last 2-3 overs, I thought your prediction will be wrong. But
I was scared of as well.
yeah, and I think credit to England for taking it there. India as well. They played some great cricket. Both teams made mistakes, but it ended up making it even more interesting and more fun as well. So I think a great
Absolutely.
series. And thank you so much for joining me. And I'll catch you before the IPL as well.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, take care.